So this is the world's largest cave. It has a forest, a river, and cloud inside. By the way, the link has a timestamp. I'll take it off. By Ruhi Çenet. Let's go.
Sondong, the largest cave on our planet. This cave is so massive that it has a completely self-sustaining ecosystem with its own climate conditions. Hundreds of meters underground, the clouds you're used to seeing in the sky form inside this cave. Sondong even has an untouched prehistoric rainforest hidden far below the surface, and a vast underground river. From transparent fish to colorful monkeys, over 250 endemic plant and animal species live in this underground world. 7 new animal species were recently discovered here and are unique to this place. Stretching 9 kilometers in length, this cave holds 38.5 million cubic meters of space, and its passages are so enormous that a 40-story skyscraper could fit inside, and its giant stalagmites are rising like towers of...
I had no idea this was a thing. You often see it in media, like anime, manga, stuff like that. This concept of like an absolutely giant cave where, you know, like it has its own living world basically. But man, that is cool.
Ancient cities. Walking inside, it's impossible not to feel as small as a tiny bug. Can a rock move on its own? Sondong even contains phytokarst rocks, which move towards the sun like semi-living organisms. Rare cave pearls and many other unique formations are also found here. For 3 million years since its formation, the world had no idea about this cave's existence until it was fully explored in 2009 in Vietnam. Now, it's time for you to see the largest cave on Earth. Individual access is forbidden to protect both visitors and the fragile environment. This expedition is operated by Oxalis, the only authorized agency. To reach Sondong, we've trekked through the jungle for 9 hours, and now...
Did I miss it? Did you say where this is? Sondong. Largest cave. Prehistoric. 3 million years. I mean, can't you say where it is, my dude? Sondong cave. What is in the heart of Phong Nha Kebang National Park in Quang Binh Province, so China. I see. Okay.
We must pass through N Cave, the world's 3rd largest cave. This cave serves as a gateway to the world's largest cave. It's crucial to be fully prepared for every possibility. So before setting out on this journey, we did deep online research about Sondong and its surrounding area to learn about everything that we would need to know. Now, we're heading towards the beach inside the cave. Over the centuries, water from nearby rivers gradually carved this place. The ceiling is 145 meters high, and the cave is 200 meters wide.
During the flooding season, much of this empty space is submerged underwater. You can understand from the basket over there, the water levels rise so much that it can carry objects up to that level.
With a breathtaking lake in front of us, it was impossible not to take a quick dip. At dusk, the sound of swift birds echoes in the cave. Because of their short and weak legs, these birds can't take off from the ground and must jump from a high place to fly. If they are trapped on the ground, it means death is certain for these birds.
This one was unlucky. And wait.
Okay.
Ground, it means death is certain for these birds.
My man went out and blurred the bird's face. Not the full dead bird, but its face. Like, damn. Alright.
Birds.
This one was unlucky and waited to die.
At sunrise, we're ready for the journey to Sondong. If we call this cave a neighborhood, then Sondong is a massive city in comparison.
This might be the kind of cave I would go into. I don't think I'd feel claustrophobic.
What awaits us in Sondong? As we walk, dozens of crickets on the ground start jumping from side to side.
Privacy. I'm sure the birds' family appreciate it.
Of bat guano. Above us, countless bats hang in deep sleep, but some are awake and constantly defecating on us, so it's not a good idea to look up.
Okay. What if you get bit by one of those bats? Bats have like crazy disease, right? Ow.
That's how my arm looks.
we pass by formations that look like travertine. The limestone steps take us to the path that leads to Sondong.
Wow. The view
Natural
here is
steps.
amazing. You can see some water coming down from both sides.
N Cave welcomed us for a night deep in the jungle. Now, it's time to meet Sondong Cave.
It's trying to come to me, you know?
What
it's
is that?
moving towards me. It knows what to leech on.
That's a lich.
Oh.
Oh hell no.
It got too big.
Beneath the soil we walk on lies a 450-million-year-old limestone formation, which
I need an
began
hazmat suit if
forming
I'm
long
going.
before the existence of humans or even dinosaurs. This calcium-rich limestone is composed of shells and skeletons of ancient sea animals that sank to the ocean floor and gradually compressed over millions of years. However, since calcium dissolves easily in acid, acid rain slowly erodes limestone and forms caves over time. This is how the world's largest cave was formed, by rain-dissolving limestone. A challenging final climb brings us down to the grand entrance of Sondong. As we move deeper, everyone's switching on their headlamps now. This path will lead us to the Hope and Vision Passage. In this 9-kilometer-long cave, there is so much to explore. We might be the first to record newly
Have you ever
discovered
been bit by
animals.
lich?
This is the entrance of Sondong Cave. You can see those people look tiny at the entrance.
Even just a few steps in, we're surrounded by incredible cave formations. The
Looks
water,
awesome,
rich
huh?
in minerals, flows down from the ceilings or walls and builds these beautiful rimstone pools over time.
Brimstone.
The very first animal greeting us is a cricket. We are making our way through the rocks.
Some stalagmites are sparkling in pure white because of the mineral type they're composed of.
It looks like a diamond.
Yes, it does.
There's a huge stalactite in bronze color, resembling frozen waterfalls. The orange-brown hue suggests the presence of iron or other minerals mixed within the limestone. Some stalactites have actually broken off from the ceiling and fell down to the ground.
That one in the middle is a fault line. It was formed because of tectonic movements of the Earth.
Sondong's enormous size is not just the result of water erosion, but also the fractures caused by tectonic movements, which created
see.
pathways for water to flow deeper.
There's a huge river in this part of the cave.
Don't
If
fall
you
in that.
fall, you can't swim. It's so fast.
Yeah.
Heavy rains feed many rivers here, and a large and fast river now flows through the cave.
How did this come to life?
If you fall, it's bad, and yet the bridge is like 1 foot wide.
We are like hundreds of meters inside the cave. There is no sunlight.
Heavy floods can bring soil and plant stems into the cave. That's why we see a sprouted seed here.
Unfortunately, without sunlight, they won't survive for long. The flood also brought spores in, so now there are mushrooms growing here. The moisture and darkness are perfect for them.
Just yesterday, the water reached up to here. It carried a lot of mud with it.
It's so recent, as if the flood just happened here. Signs of the incident are still visible. We reached the Hope and Vision Passage. This is the largest part of the cave. I'm standing next to the tallest stalagmite in the world. It is 80 meters high.
It took
It's a
an
big
average
boy.
of 800,000 years for these minerals to accumulate on the ground as water dripped from the ceiling and formed this massive stalagmite. The reason it got so huge is because it grew in a part of the cave where the ceiling is over 170 meters high and more than 130 meters wide. So this part of the cave is as large as a 40-story skyscraper could fit, and even a double-decker.
I can't even like imagine. I guess there's not many skyscrapers in France and in any place that I've ever been in. So I've been next to tall building, which it feels imposing, right? It's like building with like 5-6 stories maybe. But I can't imagine like the size of a 40 stories skyscrapers. Yeah. Small cave is hard to scale the size of the area.
aircraft could fly through.
You can see the light coming from the first dolin very far ahead. That's
Someone called
where
Red
we are
Bull.
heading.
There's an
We spot
opportunity.
cloudy-like white patches on the ground.
What is this?
A spider web.
When they sense vibrations of a trapped insect, the spider jumps out, bites the prey, and returns to the funnel to eat. These are sand towers. When water drips from above, the parts under the pebbles
thank you.
are protected while their surroundings erode.
That looks awesome.
And in the end, it forms these towers. It looks like a small small metropolis.
If you carefully look at it, there's a guy standing on the top of that rock.
Our teammate in the far distance is now standing on a stalagmite of 60 meters in length. We move 3 kilometers forward in the cave.
This is our camping site. Imagine sleeping here, looking at this view.
From here, you can partially see the first dew line. It might look like the cave's exit, but it's actually the first of 2 massive dew lines. And from here on, things will get more incredible. The temperature difference between the outside and the inside of the cave forms mist and clouds inside the cave. The area beyond them is called Watch Out for Dinosaurs. We will explore that place tomorrow. For now, it's time to rest.
Now we are going to first Dolin. This is the next day. There will be a lot of things that we will see today. Let's go.
We are crawling through narrow passages to get to the first dew line.
A very narrow point.
Really, the cavern is so freaking big, and you still have to do this. Huh? You still have to like squeeze yourself. Come on.
These sticky threads are traps belonging to cave worms. They produce a blue-green light from their tail to attract flying insects to these sticky threads. Once an insect gets stuck, the larva pulls up the thread with its mouth and eats its prey.
This limestone is the oldest limestone in Southeast Asia. It is more than 400 million years old.
While some sea creatures become part of the limestone, others mineralized and ended up as fossils, like you see in this example. We'll get into the details of this fossil later. We're almost there.
Sun! Wow, it takes for water
The sights
droplets
are
to reach the ground
otherworldly for
20
sure.
seconds from up there. What is the height of this wall?
It's around 140 meters.
Everything is huge here. The height of...
That's what I thought. Yeah, the video I think definitely doesn't do it justice. This doesn't look 140 meters. Like, to me, it looks like, 20-30 meters or something. Yeah. I guess it's good that they actually say how big it is, because just looking like that, you don't realize 140 meters. That's crazy. Damn.
this wall.
It's around 140 meters.
Everything is huge here.
When you look up, you can see the trees of the rainforest surrounding the opening. But right now, we are meters below and still inside the cave. The reason why this hole exists is that hundreds of thousands of years ago, the river flowing inside Songdong eroded the limestone and weakened the roof. The roof couldn't hold up and collapsed, creating this giant hole above. So the light gave life to
this
these
would happen
algae
to the
and
rest of the cave,
mosses.
no?
In the afternoon, we'll go to Dolin number 2. It's very different. You'll see a real jungle there.
But first, let's see the first of the last two incredible formations here.
This is also
Oh.
a stalagmite,
Damn.
but it's a different one.
It's built like in
It
a
owes
spiral.
its unique layered shape to the waterfalls. These are phytokarst formations. They are rare limestone formations shaped by the growth of algae, mosses, and microorganisms together with calcium carbonate. Since both biological and geological processes shape them, they're like partly a living and partly non-living. Here you can see the phytokarst formations moving toward the sun like a hand extending from the cave, climbing 1 kilometer down and up in the dark.
Now when he says moving, I guess it's not like it doesn't mean that the rock themselves are moving, just that they are building and growing toward the sun, I guess.
We finally reached our next destination.
This is the second dolin, much bigger than the first one. This looks amazing.
Oh,
All of
wow.
a sudden, we are in a forest, in a cave.
Look here, they're so dense.
Oh,
The roof of the cave at this point collapsed as a result of the
feels
intersection
like
of two main
Jurassic
faults,
Park
forming
kind
a
of
dew
thing.
line on the surface 252 meters above where we are. The collapsed cave roof allowed sunlight to enter, giving rise to an entirely new ecosystem. Despite extreme conditions, plants and animals have managed to adapt and turn this place into a unique underground rainforest.
As we move forward towards the light, the height of the plants grow. The soil makes it perfect to form a rainforest.
A large portion of the soil here consists of bat guano. It is accumulated for millions of years and is highly fertile.
The soil here is deep and full of small holes. There is an insect in each hole, and the insects are making traps in these holes to catch animals.
bruh.
This jungle is huge.
That's
The biologists
crazy.
have found more than 200 species of plants and almost 60 species of animals living in this area.
There are some monkeys on trees. This might be the only cave where where monkeys live.
They're cute.
Most primates typically prefer trees as their habitat, and cave environments are not suitable for them. However, this extraordinary cave has become a new living space for certain species. We came across a centipede. And snakes are living in this forest as well.
Sound of this forest
Cool snake.
is calming.
Even the explorers who first came here in 2009 thought they'd found the exit for a moment.
Remember that we are in a
This was only found in 2009. Wow. I know China is another, like, one of those countries with, you know, it's so massive, there's a lot of probably like uncharted, you know, forest and all that, but still 2009.
cave. This cave has its own rainforest.
Oh, it's in Vietnam.
All of these trees get thinner.
My bad. I thought from the name it was China. My bad. Well then, that's even crazier. Isn't Vietnam like smaller than? Only 2009 it was discovered.
But taller to reach the sunlight coming from above. That's why all of
Southeast
them
Asia.
are very thin, but very tall compared to their width.
Certain trees reach heights of 40
The
to
name's
50
been missing
meters.
China, but I was
It's
wrong.
because the trees prioritize height to maximize sunlight absorption.
This is the remains of a snail. Monkeys catch these snails and break them with stones, then eat them.
As we move through the cave, we start coming across signs red-shinned dukes have left behind.
Look, so many snails. Most of them are broken and probably eaten by a monkey.
We kind of forget we're in the cave because it's so massive.
This is where we are going to camp tonight.
It's our fourth and final day in the cave. Today, we navigate through a water-filled passage before reaching the Great Wall of Vietnam. The stalagmites here look fascinating, almost like the work of a sculptor.
A pool
Yeah,
of
yeah.
water surrounds this column and fish are swimming in it. These fish have no eyes as they have adapted to live in this total darkness. Instead, their other senses got stronger over time.
See how it doesn't give any reaction to the shadow of my hand or the movement?
It doesn't see anything.
How does it
Like the
survive?
fish, this cricket is completely blind. It doesn't see me.
It's interesting, like, I wonder how it works in evolution. Like, when it decides that, you know, like there's a lot of creatures that live in darkness, and same thing in the ocean, a lot of fish that live toward the darkest parts. Like, how does it decide whether the creature will have, you know, crazy night vision to thrive in this environment, or just be blind and have other senses to make up for it? This cave was first discovered in 1991 by a local Vietnamese looking for agar wood. 1991 still feels like, you know, very recent, so I'm still surprised, yeah. But maybe it's like in a very inhabited area. That could be the case, yeah. It wasn't explored.
These super rare formations are called cave pearls. They are usually
Oh
1
shit, a cave.
centimeter in diameter, but here, since they are too old, some of them are as big as a tennis ball.
Just like real pearls, they form around a tiny nucleus, such as a grain of sand, with layers of minerals slowly building up over time. They need a few hundred years to be fully formed. As we push further into the cave, something unexpected catches our eyes. These are deer bones. They're estimated to be 500 years old. There is one last challenge ahead, an 80-meter
that.
high karst wall called the Great Wall of Vietnam. To reach there,
80
we
meters.
must also pass through a 600-meter-long Passchendaele Passage. The passage is now filled with water and is turned into a breathtaking jade-green lake.
It's so high that the light
kinda
does
scary,
not
though.
reach to very top.
After the wall, the light from the exit is visible from 500 meters away.
We've explored the world's largest cave from one end to the other. Yet on the fourth day of the exploration, one mystery still remains. Which ancient creature the fossil we saw in Sondong belongs to? I'm opening Opera browser and quickly navigating to the cave's website to check the related article. Here we'll find the same fossil's image and its
Very sleek ad. Hey guys, sorry, I'm just opening my Firefox browser right now. It works very well. Yeah, let's look at something.
description. I'm gonna press Command/ or Control/
I'm joking.
to open Aria. It's a built-in AI tool. Let's ask it to highlight the key points in this article. The article mentions 2 different coral fossils, but doesn't specify which image belongs to which creature. Luckily, Aria has image recognition feature. I'm gonna upload the image and ask again. Okay. It It identifies the fossil we saw as Tetracorolia. Let's check for more information.
It was in 2008 when the local guy met with random cave researcher from British Cave Research Association exploring nearby. So yeah, I guess he discovered it, but he didn't really care to say anything about it. I guess you wouldn't really think you discovered it, right? Like if I'm some random block and I go to the forest and I find a cave, I'm just gonna assume it's a cave and like who cares? Someone already found it. I wouldn't really think, I discovered something. You know what I mean? I was asked to rediscover the route because then again, he thought it was just a cave and it's in the middle of nowhere, yeah.
On this sea creature.
I see.
First, I'm using the Tab Islands feature to effortlessly group tabs by topic and save space. I can expand or collapse them as needed. I'm splitting the browser window to view both websites side by side. It appears that
Wow.
Tetracorolia or rugosa went extinct 300 million years ago. This carnivorous species is believed to have had tentacles to catch its prey and grew up to 10 centimeters. Because
Okay.
it is extinct today, we don't know exactly
actually
what
small.
this animal looked like, but with Aria's image generation feature, we can create a possible visual for this animal. Here's an illustration of a living Tetracorolia drawn as a colony with tentacles. By the way,
It's
tab
actually
traces feature,
good
as you
looking.
can see here, help us see our recent visited tabs by darkening the underscore. The darker the underline, the more recently the tab was visited. Using Opera Smart Tools, I believe that we identified which creature this fossil belongs to. Opera also enhances workflow with a floating music player and customizable themes with many other features. Download Opera now from the link in the description box or pinned comment to take your
Okay.
browsing experience to
Not
the
a
next
bad
level.
ad.
Thank you for watching. See you in
It
the
does
next
seem
one.
very
Ruhi
customizable.
Çenet
Yeah.
was here.
And I've heard before that Opera is very customizable, but add-ons are a thing, right, for different browsers. Okay, very interesting, very interesting. Let me try to look at it. I wanted to look at on Google Map. Firefox is the way to go. Well, I'm not sponsored, but that's what I would say. Okay, so it's right over here. Let me put some BGM. Oh yeah, that does look like in the middle of absolute nowhere. Alright. I mean, just look at that. That's massive. And then, like, is that even a village right here? Damn. Stunning park? Okay, it's just a natural park, yeah. It's a natural park. Yeah, I guess it's literally like middle of the forest. I mean, like there's a city right here, but how far is it? Like probably a few hundred kilometers or something. Yeah, and the forest looks insanely dense from up here. Oh, you can't go down. Fair enough. Okay. I mean, stuff like this really makes you wonder, like, sometimes I have this impression of, like, the modern world, we found a lot of stuff, if not everything, so big surprise like this might not happen, but clearly, there might still be a lot of stuff to find on land. Like, in my head, I always thought, at this point, like, what we really don't know is what's super down in the ocean, but there might still be a lot of interesting stuff to discover on land. So, I do like that as a concept, that there's still so much stuff to discover, yeah. It's a very good video. I like this guy's video. Last time we had watched the one about the deepest cave, which was good too. This one was nice. Discover 1000 plus new species of creature each year. Fair enough. But I think most of the time it's like a slight variation of the same thing, right? Which doesn't mean it's not interesting, but see, like, in my head, when you tell me new species, I literally expect a dinosaur, basically. Really good video. Okay, nice one. What do I do? Do I watch more? Do we leave it at that for today? The squid that's like bushes, long, and it sperms well. Oh, the colossal squid, yeah. But I think that's not new, right? It's been around a while, but for some reason they could never film it, yeah? I don't know why, yeah. I think, like, they knew about it, but yeah, they never recorded him. I guess because the whales are like super, or you only ever find it dead, yeah. I did see the footage though, yeah. I guess it's because it like is mostly super deep in the sea. That's why it's hard to find. And I'm guessing there's not a lot of them. That's also part of it, yeah.